Alright, so guys, we are reviewing for our mid-module assessment that we're going to be taking tomorrow. So please pay extra special attention to this ed puzzle, and because it will help you a lot with your assessment tomorrow. Alright, so the first problem we're looking at says Molly is building a door for her shed. The door is 4 feet wide and it is 3 times as long as it is wide. Find the length and the area of the door. Alright, so what they're saying is we have a door, so I'm going to go ahead and draw that. And it's going to be kind of this shape because it says that the length is longer than the width, so we need to draw it rectangular like this. Alright, so it says we're talking about a door that is 4 feet wide. So remember the width, where it says wide, the width is the same as the height, which is like this section right here. So we're talking about 4 feet wide right here. So then it says that it is 3 times as long as it is wide. So that means we know that if the width is 4 feet, then the length is going to be the same as 3 of those, because it says it's 3 times as long. So the length is going to be the same as 3 of the widths. So it's going to be the same as 4 plus 4 plus 4. And I'm going to ask you a question here. What is another way that you can write 4 plus 4 plus 4? What's another way that you can write that length that we're going to be finding? Alright, so hopefully you've correctly answered that we're going to be trying to find 4 times 3 as our length. And that is going to equal what? It's going to equal 12. So we have a length of 12 feet. So we found our first answer, which was find the length, and that's going to be 12 feet. Alright, now the next part, we're not done yet, because the next part is find the area of the door. So I'm just going to erase some of this stuff down here so we can see everything that we need to see. So just as a reminder, the area formula is area equals length times width. And make sure you know this for the assessment tomorrow. Length times width. Make sure you know the difference between area and perimeter, because you're going to need to know both. So the area is the length times the width. So for this problem, our length is what we just found. That's 12 feet. And our width is what the problem already told us, which was 4 feet. So the area is going to be 12, which is our length, times 4, which was our width. And that's going to be a total of 48 feet. Alright, but I'm forgetting something. Who knows what I'm forgetting? When we're answering an area problem, how do we have to write our answer? Alright. Hopefully you remembered that we have to write our answer in square units. So we have to write 48 square feet for our area. Alright. So guys, that is the first type of problem that you're going to see. Alright, so the next thing we're going to look at is finding the perimeter. So guys, just as a reminder, the perimeter formula is what? See if you can remember what it is. Alright, the perimeter formula is length plus width plus width. So what we have to do is we have to see what our length is, which we can see on this rectangle that it's 5, and we know that the length on the other side is also going to be 5. And same thing with our width. We know that the width on that side, on the right side, is 3, so we know that the width on the left side is also going to be 3. So now all we have to do is we have to add our length plus our length plus our width plus our width. So I'm just going to circle my lengths in red here and circle that in the formula. And then I'm going to circle my widths in yellow, just so you can kind of see what those pieces are that we're going to be adding together. All right, so we're going to add up 5 plus 5 plus 3 plus 3, and that's going to give us what? All right, hopefully you got that. That would give us 16, because 5 plus 5 is 10, and then 10 plus 6 from this 3 plus 3 would be 16. All right. And then just as a quick extra reminder, if they were asking us to find area, we would do length times width, and that would be, in this problem, 5 times 3, and that would be 15. That's our area formula. All right, so the next problem we're going to look at is pretty simple. A jar holds 4 cookies. How many cookies can 6 jars hold? Okay, so this is pretty straightforward, but just be careful, because you might be tempted to just look at these numbers and try to add them up really quick. But my question to you is, what should you actually do to solve this problem? What should you do? So hopefully you figured out that you should not add 4 plus 6, but rather you should multiply, because it says 1 jar would hold 4 cookies. So how many would 6 jars hold? So I'm not going to draw cookies in all of them. But if you just pretend each one of these has 4 cookies in them, then it would be 4, and another 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 4, and that would be the same as doing 4 times 6. So what we would have here would be 4 times 6 equals 24 cookies. All right, so next I'm going to do a quick review of the 2 different main strategies for solving multiplication problems that we've learned. I'm going to just show you each one time. I'm not going to show you area model right now. I'm just going to show you the standard algorithm, and I'm going to show you partial product strategy. So the first thing I'm going to show you is the partial product strategy. And I'm just going to write that up here just as a reminder to us that that's what we're doing. So we're going to multiply 252 times times 7. So if we're doing partial products, we have to remember that we have to use the real values, okay? So what that means is we don't just multiply 7 times 2, 7 times 5, 7 times 2. We have to multiply times the real values. So we're going to start with 7 times our ones place, which really is just going to be 7 times 2, because the 2 is just in the ones place, so it's really just 2. So it's 7 times 2, and that's going to give us, 14. And next, we're going to do 7 times the tens place. So a 5 in the tens place is really worth what? Okay, hopefully you got that it's really worth 50. And since we're using partial products, we're going to use that real value. So 7 times 50 is going to equal, well, let's think. 7 times 5 is 35. And then we had 1 0 in our problems. There's none in 7, there's 1 in 50. So that means there needs to be 1 total 0 in our answer. So we're going to add a 0 to the end here. And then finally, we have to do 7 times our hundreds place. We're not just going to do 7 times 2 because this is partial product strategy. We have to use the real values. So we have to do 7 times 200. And what's 7 times 200? Well, 7 times 2 is 14, just like we figured out up here. And there's no zeros in 7, 2 zeros in 200. So I'm going to add 2 zeros to the end of that for a total of 1400. And then all I have to do to find my answer is I have to take all these, line them up nicely somewhere, and add them together. So I'm just going to come up here and do that. I'm just going to line them up. 1,400. I'm going to be careful to line up my place values and make sure my ones places, my 4, my 0, and my 0 right here are all lined up so that I add correctly. 0 plus 0 plus 4 equals 4. 0 plus 5 plus 1 equals 6. 4 plus 3 equals 7. And 1, bring it down, is just 1. And that's going to be my final answer, 1,764. All right, so as you know, we're going to try standard algorithm next. So this time we're going to multiply 253 times 6. All right, so we start the same way. We do our ones place times our ones place. But with standard algorithm, we do not use the real values. We just use the numbers, no matter what place we're in. So we're starting in the ones place. It's going to be very similar to the partial products. We're doing 6 times 3. That's going to give us 18. But we're going to put our 8 here, like we normally would. But we're just going to carry our 1 up to the tens place and put it right here. And that little 1 is just going to wait there to be added to the tens place when we get to the tens place. All right, so next we're going to do 6 times 5 because we're not doing 6 times 50 because this is not partial products. This is standard algorithm. So we just do 6 times 5, which is 30. So we're going to put our 0 from 30 right here, and we're going to carry our 3 from 30 up to the hundreds place. Okay? And then last of all, we're going to do 6 times our hundreds place. So we're not going to do 6 times 200 because this is not the partial products method. This is standard algorithm, which means we do not use the real value. We just multiply times the numbers. So 6 times 2 is 12. So we can put our 2 right here. And then we carry our 1 to the thousands place. And then there's nothing else to multiply. So now we just are ready to add up. So nothing plus 8 is 8. 1 plus 0 is 1. 3 plus 2 is 5. And 1 plus nothing is just 1. So here is our final answer. All right, guys, we're almost there. This is the last problem that we're going to look at. So this says Kayla does 24 push-ups. Claire does 37 more push-ups than Kayla. Patty does twice as many push-ups as Kayla. How many push-ups does Patty do? All right, so you have to be careful here because you might be tempted to just add up 24 and 37 or maybe multiply them and then just be done with the problem. But you have to be really careful, and this is where tape diagrams can come in handy to make sure you're staying careful and clear with your information. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my tape diagram. All right, so let's just walk through these real quick. So it says Kayla does 24 push-ups. Claire does 37 more push-ups than Kayla does. So I kind of added for Kayla's tape diagram this extra 37 here, in addition to the 24 that she already has like Kayla. And then Patty is a little trickier because Patty has twice as many as Claire. So I've got all of what Claire has, and then I've got twice that. So I've got the same thing again here. So what I'm going to write down is I'm just going to write down all the numbers that we need to record here. So if you see here, we've got Kayla with 24, we've got Claire with 24 and 37, and then we've got Patty who has twice as many as Claire, because this is what Claire had, and then this is another of the same of what Claire had. So the first thing that we need to do is figure out how many Claire had. So Claire has 24 plus the additional 37. So we're just going to add up 24 plus 37. And we can get 4 plus 7 gives us 11. So we put a 1 down and carry a 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. So Claire has 61 total push-ups. And now we have two choices here. We can either look at Patty's and we can sit here and add up 24 plus 37 plus 24 plus 37, and that would get us the correct answer, or, and which I think would be faster, or we can just do our 61, which was just the half section and just what Claire had. We can take that 61 and we can just multiply it times 2, because this is 61 right here. Right here, this is 61, and then this is another 61, right? Because this is just twice what Claire above her had. So we can really just do 61 times 2. All right, and now, so to multiply 61 times 2, I'm going to do this using the partial product strategy. So 2 times our ones place is just going to be 2. And then 2 times our tens place is going to be 2 times 60, which is going to be 120. And then I'm just going to add these up to get a total of 122 push-ups for Patty.